Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
And we wish you a happy Labor Day. Hey, there's worse places to be, right? Check out the beach. The ocean looks beautiful just a few miles from there. We are at Marlins Park in Miami, starting a 3-game series. It's the Brew Crew and the Miami Marlins, and a couple of young hurlers on the mound. Justin Nicolino, the left-hander, and Zach Davies making just his second Major League start for the Brewers. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Marlins Park. They got the roof all closed up, climate-controlled inside here. We're glad you're with us today. Hope you're having a great Labor Day. It is also his birthday.
Happy birthday, Bill. You're going to buy me dinner tonight, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cuban food. We're going in.
Only on camera. That's the only way he would agree to that.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Zach Davies, who makes his second start of his Major League career. What did you see in start number one?
Well, he does like to work very quickly. As a matter of fact, he worked so quickly that the Pirates had to step out and call timeout about 5 times. That's what you like about Davies. He really only made the one mistake, and that was to Aramis Ramirez. He gave up a home run back-to-back fastballs. He pounded the strike zone, and he showed a very good changeup his first time out. Now the Marlins, they have some video on him, so Davies going to be able to make some adjustments. He's going to have to be more successful or more consistent with his breaking ball as opposed to just a changeup in his first start.
We're going to be talking about the changeup all day long with these two starters, Nicolino and Davies. Speaking of birthday boys, it's Telehue's birthday as well. He's here, and he's going to talk Jonathan Lucroy and his success at the plate. That's coming up next. Brewers baseball on Labor Day today. Glad you're with us.
Improvement needs by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Fresh off taking 2 of 3 from the Reds in Cincinnati, the crew has made their way to Miami to open up a 3-game set against the Marlins. Happy Labor Day from Miami, everyone. I'm Telly Hughes. The Brewers bats have certainly been putting in work over the last 7 games, hitting a Major League best .329 over that span, and they have won 6 of those 7 games during that stretch. As a matter of fact, during this stretch and a little beyond, Jonathan Lucroy has carried his weight, finding his stroke at a .385 clip with 3 home runs and 14 runs batted in over the last 13 games. Luke continues to make good strides towards his goals he set for himself.
I know as an individual goal is just to finish strong, and I think that applies to as a team goal too. I think finishing strong and honestly trying to ruin somebody else's season. I mean, and trying to, finish somebody off and keep them from going to the playoffs. I mean, that gives me a little bit of, a little bit of motivation to go out and win. So, I enjoy that part of the game. It's always competitive to me, no matter where we're at in the standings, and I'm always wanting to win.
It's a business trip for the Brewers in South Beach, with the crew looking to kick off the series with a win. BA and Rock are back after the break with the first pitch and call next from South Florida.
Day now. Under the roof at Marlins Park. It opened in 2012, and it's a good thing because there are scattered Miami storms out there, just popping up, little squalls here and there, as they always do. And the unmistakable piece of art, Jeffrey Loria's home run art out there in left center. Labor Day here in Miami, and the Brewers and the Marlins ready to start a 3-game series. One of the Marlins' favorite sons, Craig Counsell, returning for the first time to Miami as a manager. Of course, he scored the World Series winning run in 1997 for him. Counsell's Potawatomi batting order looks like this today, with Segura, Lucroy, and Braun leading off. Chris Davis, Adam Lind, Domingo Santana in the middle of the order with Hernan Perez, Elian Herrera, and Zach Davies rounding out the starting 9. That will match up against left-hander Justin Nicolino.
Yeah, 23 years old, 6'3", 190 pounds, out of Orlando, Florida. Second time he's been with the Marlins. He made 2 starts in the month of June, went 1-1, got sent down. Called back up on the 11th and has thrown the baseball pretty well at 3.07 earned run average. A 3-2 record. One of those wins came to the hands of the Brewers. Back at Miller Park on August 17th, a 6-2 victory, 6 2/3 innings, gave up only 2 runs. Well, let's check out the Marlins defense. You got Dietrich, Yelich, and Ozuna. Marlins defense brought to you by Menards. Prado, Solano, you got D. Gordon and Justin Bohr from third to first, and JT Realmuto behind home plate.
And the Marlins coming off a walk-off win yesterday against the New York Mets. Those are the umpires today. Marvin Hudson will call the balls and strikes. Hunter Wendelstedt is the crew chief. He's over at third base. You got David Rackley and Bob Davidson joining him. And Gene Segura ready to lead the way here for the Brew Crew. Segura, Lucroy, and Braun will start it against the left-hander Nicolino. Marlins had 2 walk-offs, as a matter of fact, against the New York Mets. They're actually playing pretty good baseball right now. Marlins have won 5 of their last 6 games. They swept the Braves and then won 2 out of 3 from the first place Mets, tightening up that series in the National League East between the Mets and the Nationals to just 4 games. And the first pitch is in there for a strike, and away we go from Marlins Park.
Yeah, so both of these teams playing some pretty good baseball. The Brewers broke a 6-game winning streak yesterday. They lost to the Cincinnati Reds. Both teams swinging the bats pretty well.
There's Dan Jennings, the manager of the Marlins. Does not look like he'll be managing next year. Big question around here, will Jennings return to his general manager post next season, which is where he left to manage a ball club. He'd never managed before, had hardly coached in his career. Longtime baseball man, though. He's been a great evaluator, terrific scout. Segura into left field, huge outfield here, and an easy out to get it started. Derek Dietrich puts it away, and that's how the day begins for Nicolino.
Yeah, big deep alleys out here. 386 to left center. You got 418 into dead center field, and you've got to hit him to get him out of this ballpark. Maybe down the lines you might be able to get one off the end, but this is a true pitcher's ballpark.
Quite a contrast, too, from Cincinnati. After the Brewers winning that series 2 out of 3. They're talking about moving the fences in here at Marlins Park. That has been the reported rumors that they're discussing how to do that. This ballpark opened just 3 seasons ago. This is the 4th full season that Marlins Park has been open now, and ever since the 2012 season. And they're finding out that they're not getting the free agent pitcher to sign that they thought with the deep fences, and they're certainly not getting the free agent hitter to sign here.
Yeah, gap to gap, it is a cavernous ballpark. Not only is it 418 to center field, but the fence is so high out there. You see the artwork out there in center field. Not only do you have to hit it far, but you got to hit it high to get it out of here in center.
13-foot high wall out there in the deepest part. Everywhere else the walls are 11 feet high. Lucroy rifles one into the gap. That's going to go all the way to the wall, and Lucroy's hot hitting continues. Telly talked about it prior to the game in our open today. Lucroy with double number 19 on the year to go along with his 7 homers, and has found his stroke here in the last couple of weeks.
He's hit 2 in a row after snapping his 11-game hitting streak, and in game 1 of the doubleheader in Cincinnati, able to find that big gap and in with a 1-out double.
Lucroy just 1 for 9 in the Cincinnati series, but had some line drive outs. Felt like his swing is in good shape, and he responds with a double to right center to set up Ryan Braun with 1 away. Braun always loves returning to Miami. He was born and raised in California, Southern California, from Granada Hills outside Los Angeles. Played his college ball here at Miami, though. A great Hurricane. And Braun loves it out here as much as anyone, and he loves hitting here, especially as a big leaguer. He is sitting on a 17-game hitting streak in Miami. It goes back to the old ballpark Goes back to the 2009 season, has a couple of homers. Columbia St. Mary's worth another look. Ryan Braun's career against the Marlins in Miami.
Brownie's been swinging the bat well against everybody this year. You would expect it to continue. He's healthy. He says his hand feels pretty good. And pushing 285 for the batting average. He'd love to be able to get over 290 but when it's all said and done.
And Braun, a slow roller to third base. Coming in on a Prado, and he takes care of Braun. Just got him. Second out in the inning. Lucroy advances to third.
We talked about the success that Nicolino had against the Brewers at Miller Park. 6 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs, and he showed a very good changeup. Doesn't throw very hard. He'll touch the low 90s from time to time, but cut fastball and a changeup, 2 predominant pitches that he likes to work, and drawn out in front of a good changeup that time.
So 2 men are out, and here is Chris Davis. Davis back in that cleanup spot for Counsell today. 17 homers. He had 10 of those 17 in the month of August. Was named as the Brewers player of the month in the month of August, but he is yet to homer in September as we hit September 7. Davis with 17 homers, 48 runs batted in. And while the batting average is higher in September, not nearly the run production that he had in August.
Yeah, tough to do that again. 24 RBIs in a month. 10 home runs, and you'd like to sprinkle in a few singles to start getting that batting average up a little bit. Mentioned the Brewers have been swinging the bats, and a lot of the damage has come from the bottom of the order.
Big swing by Davis.
Sounds like Santana, Herrera red hot. Hernan Perez getting his hits. That's what it takes to be consistent in scoring runs. Everybody chipping in.
Craig Counsell was talking to us today about that doubleheader win on Saturday in Cincinnati, saying it's the proudest of the team he has been since taking over. Everybody contributing. It was just one of those efforts, a long day at the ballpark, no complaining. Guys just went out, got the job done, won 2 games, won the series. And even though they lost yesterday, Counsell is really pleased with the way the club has come together here in the final stretch of the season. Got a month of baseball remaining, a little less than.
Yeah, especially in game 1, the Brewers fell behind early in that game. They were down 5-1. Able to come back and pick up a nice win in game 1 of the doubleheader on Saturday.
And the Matt Garza news aside, and I think Counsell feels confident that that has now been rectified and isolated, and Garza's plan moving forward is on the up and up. Everybody knows where they stand. As Davis hits one sharply to Prado. What a play. And Prado takes care of Davis for the final out of the inning. Prado had 2 walk-off hits in the last series, including one yesterday, and he's flashing a little leather early today. You're enjoying your Labor Day, hopefully with friends and family. There's Dan Jennings, and his tenure as a Major League manager looks like it's going to be short. And he comes in with a record of 41-58. Took over from Mike Redmond early in the season. Potawatomi batting order for Jennings looks like this: D. Gordon, Christian Yelich, and Martin Prado at the top. In the middle, you've got Justin Bour, Marcelo Zuna, and Derek Dietrich with JT Realmuto, Donovan Solano, and Justin Nicolino. Noticeably absent from the lineup is Giancarlo Stanton, and Adeiny Echeverria is out with a hamstring problem as well. So Zach Davies gets Major League start number 2. The numbers don't look like what he pitched like against the Pittsburgh Pirates. He did make a costly mistake on Aramis Ramirez, who hit a 3-run home run and gave up 4 earned runs in that game and couldn't get through 5 innings. But Rock, I thought overall he was impressive in his first start.
Throwing strikes, working quickly, and certainly a success. The key to his success today, not only the changeup, as we mentioned on our open, the curveball. Going to have to throw that a little bit more consistently for strikes. Made 23 starts between Colorado Springs for the Brewers and Norfolk with the Orioles. Good numbers down in the minor leagues.
Yeah, very good numbers at Norfolk in the International League, and then he went to Colorado Springs, and that's a tough place to pitch. Had an ERA over 5, but really just one bad start there. Brewers got him in the Gerardo Parra deal, sending Parra to the O's, and Davies is very excited to be a Brewer and have an open window to the big leagues. Pitched in the Futures game earlier this season in Cincinnati, a game set up for the top organizational prospects that pits the world against the U.S. Fly ball, left field line, slicing foul.
He's got good movement on his fastball. You know, maybe hit 90, 91, maybe that's tops, but he's going to cruise about 88, 89 miles an hour to go along with that good changeup. Has a good overhand curveball that was relatively inconsistent in his first start. The thing I like about him the most, he likes to pound the strike zone and works very quickly.
And a little flare into right center. That's going to fall. D. Gordon on with a single. He's making a run at a batting title this season, chasing Bryce Harper to start the day. That's going to push Gordon over 330.
Yeah, the Brewers defense, the typical lineup against a left-handed starter opposing the Brewers. You got Davis, Santana, and Braun in the outfield. You got Perez, Segura, Herrera, and Lynn from third to first. Jonathan Lucroy behind home plate. You can see Perez making start number 30 at third base with the Brewers this year.
That's going to be interesting to watch Santana in this ballpark with the vast space that he will have to cover in center field. Remember, Santana is not a center fielder. He's a corner outfielder by trade. He's still uncomfortable out there, although he's played pretty well as a center fielder. And he has got miles and miles of real estate to take care of. Ground ball, Davies, he's got it, fired to second for 1, over to first, and a double play. 1-6-3 double play, and that wipes out a leadoff single.
Yeah, but that's what Davies will do for you. I mean, attacking the strike zone, took a little bit off, and Yelich out in front. Fields his position well. We saw him swing the bat pretty well at Miller Park. He picked up a double. Good athlete. Only 155 pounds, but makes the most of every pound.
22 years of age. He was born in the Seattle area, and you might notice he has a huge tattoo on his forearm of the Seattle skyline. And he was ultimately raised in Arizona. There's that Seattle tattoo. Said, don't forget where you came from. But he's from his high school days, his amateur baseball days were in the Phoenix area, Gilbert, Arizona. And that's where he signed with the Orioles. Out of high school, he was a 26 rounder, but got top 10 round money to sign instead of going to Arizona State, which is where he had a full scholarship offer.
Maybe shows up to spring training next year with a skyline of Milwaukee.
Maybe. Don't forget where you came from.
That's right.
Don't forget where you're going either.
Yep. Who gave you the opportunity in the major leagues? Got plenty of room on that right arm.
That's right. 2-2 to Prado. Well, he's got to be flying high after his big moment yesterday. Martin Prado, for the second time in the last 3 games, walked off the New York Mets. And the Marlins able to take 2 out of 3.
He's having a nice season.
Such a good player, too. And doesn't matter the record, doesn't matter what team he's playing for. He's the ultimate pro. Yesterday it was a sacrifice fly, or rather Friday was a sacrifice fly. Yesterday was a base hit down the right field line. And today it is a strikeout to start it for Davies against Prado.
Gets his very own Garden Gnome on Sunday, September 20th, as the Brewers host the Reds. And all fans will receive a one-of-a-kind scooter gnome courtesy of Waterstone Bank. To reserve your spot, go to Brewers.com today. Did you bring your gnome with you?
I did not. And I'm regretting that right now, the double play gnome. Never know when you need that.
You're pretty attached to that thing.
Adam Lind will lead off for the Brew Crew. He'll be followed by Santana, then Perez against the left-hander Nicolino. Brewers got a lot of work to do on the road yet. Still 7 games remaining on the road trip. Brewers have 3 here in Miami. We're back to night games the next 2 nights, Tuesday and Wednesday night. And then night games in Pittsburgh all the way through to Sunday. Sunday's a day game, the final game, and the 4th game of that series against the Pirates. Boy, they'll be rocking in Pittsburgh. Pirates coming off a win last night against the Cardinals.
1-2 out of 3.
St. Louis, won that series.
Baseball's a crazy game, man. They come into Milwaukee, they get swept, and then they take 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals. Maybe looking past the Brewers in that series, perhaps.
Maybe so.
You never know. I mean, that's something you don't think too much about when you're in a baseball season.
Well, there are some good races going on. I think the National League postseason setup is pretty well decided. I mean, there could be a miracle one way or the other, but right now it looks like all the teams that are going to make the postseason in the National League are realistically set, with the division winners as Lind, a swing and a miss, down he goes on strikes. Got the Mets, the Dodgers, and the St. Louis Cardinals, and then of course the Pirates and the Cubs in the wild card spot. Now, one series that has gotten a lot tighter over the last couple of days has been the Mets and the Nationals. The Mets still lead Washington by 4 games, and they play today. They start a 4-game series today, and the Mets are up 2-0 in the 2nd inning in that one. So the Marlins certainly dealt the Mets a blow, winning 2 out of 3. Meanwhile, Washington swept the Atlanta Braves. And most teams right now are entering into the final month of the schedule where you play most of your games, if not all of your games, against your division. So there is a chance to make up some ground. To Santana with a slow roller and a bare hand play by Prado, not in time.
All right, nice play. Well, they might want to take a look at that. Jennings is on the top step. Prado coming in. Already made a nice play at third base to end the first inning. Right off the end of the bat, that's that changeup from Nicolino, and bare hands it, throws a strike, and let's see if they're going to ask for a review. Looks like they're not.
First base umpire David Rackley, and foot on the bag. That's a good call. Bang bang call over at first base. Infield hit for Santana. Brewers have their second hit off Nicolino. Hernan Perez takes a strike. Key matchups today between the Mets and the Nationals. The Cubs and the Cardinals are starting their series today. And some key matchups in the American League as well. You got the Twins and the Royals, which will be fun to watch. There's a hot ground ball that's going to sneak through, a base hit. Perez singles to left. And the Brewers get back-to-back hits, 2 on with 1 away in the second inning.
Always seems to be able to barrel up the baseball. I mean, Perez has been impressive, hitting over 280 now. There's that fastball down and a nice easy swing. Nice approach by Perez and a line drive. Out of the reach of Solano at short. Well, the Brewers have something going. Once again, bottom of the order getting it done. We saw that in Cincinnati.
2 on, 1 away. Here's the 8th place hitter, Elian Herrera. Herrera came to play on Saturday. He comes to play every day. You gotta love his enthusiasm for the game. This guy just eats it up. He loves being at the ballpark. Herrera with 5 hits and 2 home runs in that Cincinnati series. Drove in 5 runs. He homered in each game of Saturday's doubleheader.
And both of them big home runs. The first one in game 1 gave the Brewers a 2-run lead. And then a 3-run shot in game 2 gave the Brewers a 5-run cushion.
He's had a grand slam this year. Had a 5 RBI game. That was also against the Reds back in April. That was his first career grand slam. He's had an interesting season. He was on the big league club, then he was taken off the roster when the Brewers claimed Hernan Perez from the Tigers. There's a high pop-up, almost scraping the roof up there. And there is out number 2. That's a big out for Nicolino, and now the pitcher will bat. Yeah, that was up there. Almost hit that high roof here at Marlins Park. Tell you what a different experience it is coming to Miami now. This is a beautiful ballpark. It's different. It's new age. There's nothing like it, which I think makes it unique and makes it impressive. A lot of bright colors. Got the artwork out in left center field. And a view of downtown Miami.
And it's dry.
And it's dry. It's climate controlled. That was always the beatdown when you came to Miami, when back at Pro Player Park, all the names that it had throughout the years. But it would rain every day, and there would always be rain delays. It's just that Miami, it's those summer squalls that come up. I mean, they're all over. You can just see them as you look out. They're
routine. They would wash out batting practice, and the rain would go away.
You'd always play games. You'd always have rain delays, it felt like. You'd go in for a 4-game series against the Marlins. You'd have at least 2 rain delays. But this is a much different experience. And If the Marlins ever got themselves in a pennant race, this place would be a lot of fun. It's a pretty intimate stadium. It only holds just shy of 40,000, so they wanted to keep it intimate and keep it loud. And although there's nobody here today, crowd is very poor when the Marlins do not play well. You could tell it's got a lot of potential if they could put a winner on the field. Hard to believe they've won 2 World Series already. An expansion team. They won in '97, the Craig Counsell era, and then 2003 was the Miguel Cabrera run. Davies into right center field, and that's going to be run down by Ozuna. A center fielder by trade to cover some ground to take a hit away from Davies, and the Brewers come up empty in the second.
We'd like to wish Rock, Bill Schroeder, happy 60th birthday from all of us, Rock. Happy birthday to Telly as well, sharing the same birthday. Surprisingly, we got them both to be working on their birthdays. So the Twitter accounts, let's start blowing them up. Remember, it's Rock's birthday today as well as Telly's. Have a great day. Go Brewers.
Ah, it's a beautiful thing. How about 2 handsome devils right there?
What do you mean 60?
All right, 59.
Yeah, no. 57. 57. Well, how old's Telly?
Telly's like 28.
Yeah. Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate it, buddy.
Best profile in baseball right there, Ed Cedar. And that's a nice gesture.
Yeah.
Offering up birthday wishes. Hardly working on Labor Day, are we?
No.
This is,
can't really call this work.
Hardly
We're at the
work.
ballpark. Right?
Big Justin Bour will lead off for the Miami Marlins. Hit a key home run yesterday in the 8th inning. That was part of the Marlins comeback in their walk-off win. Bour hit a homer off Tyler Clippard of the Mets, and it was a bomb out of here up into the second level in right field. This guy can hit him a long way, and he knew it right away, didn't he?
Yeah.
That tied it. And then the Marlins would win it on that Prado hit.
Big boys know when they hit them, they square them up, and they know when they're going out. They can enjoy them a little bit, especially when they're that far.
And with the shift on, ground ball over to the right side, almost a collision there between Herrera and Segura. Much easier play for Segura, and he makes the play for out number 1.
Yeah, Herrera doing a nice job getting out of the way right at the last second. And Segura saying, hey, look, I got that. That's my play. As long as somebody gets it. Segura in front, Herrera behind, and all's well. That ends well.
And on the first pitch, Ozuna bounces one on the right side. 2 up, 2 down. 2 ground outs for Davies.
So Davies initially tried and grabbed to that baseball, realized that Herrera was playing up the middle and pulled the glove back. Impressed with the mound presence of this kid, Zach Davies. I mean, you know, he's not a big guy, but doesn't throw hard, uses all of his pitches. He's very confident in the strike zone and handles himself very well out there in the mound. A lot of poise.
One ball, one strike on Derek Dietrich. Gets a call in left field today. And another ground ball to that side. So all 3 outs on that side of the field. Herrera makes the final 2 outs, and that's a 3 up, 3 down inning for Davies. Brewers fans traveling with the ball club. It's now time for you to tweet us your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag WisDataStrongFan and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Gene Segura will lead off as we head to the 3rd inning. Back at the top of the order now. Segura, Lucroy, and Braun. And the Brewers with 3 hits in the first 2 innings. They have been unable to scratch a run across just yet. Segura swinging at the first pitch. Jam shot pop up into right field for out number 1.
Yeah, Brewers 0 for 4 so far today with runners in scoring position. I've had opportunities, but you know that's what Nicolino does. When you got men on base, he takes a little off. They change up a big pitch for him and able to get the outs. I mean, he's 3-2, but a good 3.07 earned run average in 7 starts. He's only allowed 3 home runs.
Justin Nicolino. I see his home and road splits. That's interesting because this feels like a much better pitcher's park than anywhere else you could compare it to. But I would imagine there's a little bit of anxiety when you're pitching at home in your home surroundings, especially when you're coming up from the minor leagues. I don't know, there's just something about being on the road. I think young players, maybe you can explain to us why that is, but young players seem to respond better on the road. I guess there's a bit of that bunker mentality that exists as Lucroy pops one into foul territory and 2 quick outs for Nicolino.
Maybe less pressure, you know, with the home crowd, but I don't know. I mean, I really don't know why that would be. I never felt that as a player. It's always best to be at home, but when you look at, you know, his starts and his wins have come At Atlanta, his last time out, he pitched pretty well. He gave up only 1 run or no runs in 7 innings. He's also won games in Milwaukee and Cincinnati. 2 very good hitters' parts.
Originally was with the Blue Jays and was part of that massive trade a couple of years ago. 2 outs for Braun. That one's down and away.
I think maybe a little bit of the bunker mentality. You know, you might have hit on something in that, you know, the guys are around, you're at the hotel, you're hanging out at night. At home, guys spread out, they're with the families. You're all alone in a hotel room most of the time. Especially young guys aren't really going to be set up too much in apartments if they haven't been up most of the season.
Braun rolls to short, and a very quick inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Brewers in the 3rd. Marlins coming up, bottom of the 3rd.
And after game 1 of the Brewers-Reds doubleheader on Saturday in Cincinnati, it was announced that that would be Matt Garza's final start in the 2015 season. Craig Counsell said he and Garza and Doug Melvin all spoke with Matt Garza before the trip even happened and informed him that it would be his final start. And Garza will remain with the team throughout the rest of the season. Nothing more to accomplish to prepare for 2016. That was the thinking going into this decision. Garza was not happy about that decision, but he understands what the Brewers are doing as they try to evaluate some of their young arms moving forward. Craig Counsell has no concerns whatsoever on Garza's attitude the rest of the year and considers him a really good teammate and loves his energy in the dugout. So we'll see how Matt Garza plays the rest of this season out in terms of just trying to get ready for the 2016 campaign, as the Brewers will now look at some young arms moving forward, B.A.
All right, Telly, thanks. Yeah, it's a big follow-up. I think it is big news, and I know Craig Counsell and Doug Melvin and even Matt Garza to some extent are trying to move forward beyond this. I thought Garza's comments were very surprising. I mean, I asked Craig today, was he blindsided a little bit by the comments? He goes, you know, I thought he might react to the media, and I wasn't sure at the tone that he would react. But, you know, he's that kind of guy. He's a great competitor. He wants to pitch. Garza feels like he is being paid a significant amount of money to perform and pitch every day. And Garza certainly puts it on himself. I mean, he realizes the year that he's had, but I think after talking to him, this is really Craig Counsell's first opportunity to do, I don't know if we're going to call it damage control. I don't know if it's that severe, but you have a veteran player in an organization that's going to be a key part of your rotation next year. This is his first chance to try to put some stakes in the ground for next year. I thought he did a beautiful job with it.
Yeah, I think he diffused the situation pretty well, and of course the Brewers organization always handles these things with class. And, you know, certainly Matt Garza's comments were certainly out of line. I think everybody realizes that. I think he now realizes that, and the team has to move on. And you got to believe if there was any type of problem that the Brewers thought that Garza would create with this young pitching staff, he would not be with the team. That's for sure. But Craig Counsell very confident that Garza is going to continue to be a role model along with Kyle Lohse. You think about what's happened to two of the big starters for the Brewers this year, Lohse, Garza, both of them now out of the rotation. Very disappointing seasons. And let's face it, if Garza was throwing the baseball well, he'd still be pitching.
Yep, and he acknowledges that as well, Matt Garza, and he's mad, and he's a competitor. He wants to be on the field.
But you still can't. As much as you're upset, you can't make comments like that about your organization, the same organization that signed you to that big contract.
Right. I thought that was a great point that Counsell made until he touched on it briefly there. But the point was, you're not out of our plans. You're out of our plans this year. There's a ground ball to first. Lynn makes a nice play on Solano. And there is out number 2. I think sometimes players need to be reminded that, especially guys like Garza, there's a significant amount of money coming his way, and that is exactly what should tell Matt Garza that he is appreciated and counted on, because the Brewers wouldn't have made that kind of offer to him. He's still very much a big part of what they're going to do, but Counsell just flat out said, the more he starts this year, we're only adding tread to the tires at this point. There's nothing to gain.
No reason to add innings to the arm this year. Save it for next year.
Shut him down, get into your offseason routine.
Look at some young guys, and that's what the Brewers are all about right now, looking to see what they have going forward.
I like the fact that Craig Counsell mentioned that he and Garza have essentially come up with a plan. Rick Kranich is part of that. He wouldn't divulge what it was, but Garza has specific goals that he wants to try to accomplish for the final 3 weeks of the regular season, and then he'll move into his off-season program. So it's not the most ideal thing to deal with, but I thought everybody handled it well after Garza made the comments. Beautiful play by Segura. And that is another 1-2-3 inning. So Davies is rolling along, gave up a hit to the leadoff man. Nothing since.
Johnson is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham, 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business.
We are scoreless going to the top of the 4th inning. 2 young pitchers on the mound, Nicolino and Davies. And Davies has faced the minimum through the first 3 innings. Say a reminder that weekdays, don't miss America's pregame. Mike and Molly bring you live reports from around the country for the latest from the NFL, and they'll get you ready for a full night of MLB action as well. They'll have plenty of highlights throughout the week. You can catch America's pregame every weekday at 4 p.m. Central. It's on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Well, Zach Davies is pitching well. He gave up a little flare single to D. Gordon to start it offensively for the Marlins. Got a double play to the next hitter, and he has had nothing but ground balls since. He's retired 8 straight. 7 of the 8 have been on the ground. The other was a strikeout. Chris Davis will lead off for the Brewers. Davis, Lind, and Santana. Davis was robbed of a hit by Martin Prado in the first inning.
Good changeup. Just misses the outside corner. 81 with the changeup. He'll throw the four-seamer at about 90. 91, and the cutter at about 88. Keeps the ball down, keeps you off balance.
In there, 1-2 the count. Justin Nicolino, tall left-hander, signed out of high school by the Blue Jays. He was a second rounder in the 2010 draft. As Rock mentioned, from the Orlando area. I'm sure he's glad to be back in Florida.
6'3", 190 pounds.
A trade between the Marlins and the Blue Jays occurred prior to the 2013 season. That was a blockbuster deal. I believe there were 9 players in all. The Marlins traded away Bonifacio and John Buck. Mark Burley was in that deal. Josh Johnson. And the big chip was Jose Reyes. That ball is hit deep to right. Davis sends it way back, and goodbye. Chris Davis. A 400-foot blast into right center.
Not easy to do that to the opposite field in this ballpark. My goodness. Talking about showing some power. Chris Davis, Oppo here in Marlins Park. I don't see many go out for a right-hander in that direction. Wow, hit a changeup out of here. There's a changeup spin. Left it up a little bit, and look at the extension for Davis, and just waits back and gives it a ride out there into right center. Wow. Down to the bullpen.
That is impressive for a right-handed batter on a changeup. Home run number 18 on the Powerball count for Davis. And his first home run in the month of September.
Hit the ball hard twice today.
Here's Adam Lind. Takes a ball down and away. Lind, the former Blue Jay. Tell you, both players are thriving in their new roles that were involved in that trade. Marco Estrada and Adam Lind. Estrada is 6th in the American League in earned run average.
Yeah, he's thriving over there in the American League.
He's having a great run. Lind's having a big year. There's a base hit up the middle. So Adam Lind, 1 out of 2 today, and a clean single.
He continues to get good at bats against left-handed pitching after a strikeout his first time up. Able to take that pitch and beat the shift out of the reach of Solano at short. Got a big double in game 1 on Saturday in Cincinnati. Left-hander able to come in and come up with a big RBI.
And here is Domingo Santana now. Reached on an infield hit his last time up. And another guy with big power, especially to the opposite field. Brewers are starting to put some pieces together. I tell you, there's a lot of hope right now in this organization. They are not where they want to be, not in contention, but they've been able to make some key trades. They've gotten a lot of prospects over. I was talking to Gord Ash today, the assistant general manager of the Brewers, and he just arrived here from Biloxi. Got to see that very talented Double-A team. Counsell's encouraged by what he's hearing, the reports he's getting from AA. Of course, he knows a lot of the minor league players. I think that's one of the strengths of Counsell as he took over the managerial position for the Brewers. He is so familiar with the Brewers minor league system.
Which makes him a perfect choice to manage these guys, right? He knows them, knows what they're capable of, and been able to put them in situations where they're going to succeed. You know, that platoon with Jeanette, Herrera. Herrera continues to stay in the starting lineup.
Well, I think the lesson in baseball right now is the game is getting younger and younger, and young players are coming up from the minor leagues and not just contributing but starring so quickly.
Yeah, without a whole lot of experience down in the minor leagues, they're not only contributing, but they're also learning at this level, learning how to compete in an entire season in the major leagues. It's a long season, 6 months. It's a 5-month season in the minor leagues. That's a big difference.
Now the Brewers knew they had to get the trades right. They had to do well, trading away the major pieces, big league pieces for minor league prospects. Davies was one of them. He's the second to arrive. The first was Santana, the man at the plate. And the Brewers have a whole crop of top-level minor league prospects at the AA level in Biloxi. A number of those coming over in that Astros trade. So I think the idea, the Brewers are hoping to catch fire with a lot of these prospects and try to make a run. You know, you never know when you can make a run. Look how fast the Cubs were able to get it turned around. And you think about the Minnesota Twins. 3-2 pitch. Santana takes ball 4. And first and second now. First 3 batters have reached. Speaking of the youth movement, let's hear more from Telly. What do you have, Telly?
Well, B.A., you were talking about these prospects and the possibility of seeing them. Craig Counsell said before today's game that they will make some player moves and call some guys up after today's game. It was the last game for minor leaguers, and they played a day game as well, so he didn't want to reveal any names before telling the players who will be here in Miami tomorrow. So expect Craig Counsell to announce the players that will come up after today's game.
And those guys can't wait to get up. They're going to be here very quickly, and all of a sudden the traveling party is going to have grown considerably after tomorrow.
Hernan Perez on the first pitch, a fly ball to right, and Ozuna will line it up. He's got a great arm, long throw into third base and safe. Adam Lynn just in there. Both runners tag. What an impressive throw by Marcell Ozuna.
Oh, I tell you, this is a time in baseball where you have some tremendous throwing arms out there. Ozuna has some kind of throwing arm out. Look how deep he is in right field. He gets his momentum going toward the infield and almost getting Lynn going to third base. That throw right on the money.
That was
incredible throw.
I like how Prado was trying to deke Lynn a little bit as if there was no throw coming. He was just standing there very calmly.
Yeah, but Eddie Cedar made it very clear to Adam Lynn, you better get going.
He did. What a throw. Ozuna had been playing center field. They've moved him to right while Stanton's been on the DL after he spent some time with the minor leagues.
And the one thing about that throw in the air, Santana able to get to second base, so no chance of a double play.
Second and third with one away, and Herrera on the ground. Prado will make the play to first. That's a disappointing out for Elian Herrera. Now 2 men are gone.
Especially on the first pitch. They join the crew for Fan Appreciation Weekend, Friday, September 18th through Sunday, September 20th against the Reds. Fans will enjoy prizes and giveaways all throughout the series, including a chance to win free 2016 tickets, game-used merchandise, or even a brand new car. For details, go to Brewers.com/fan appreciation.
Davies, his second at bat. He got a hit in his very first major league game in his second career major league at bat. That was against Pittsburgh. And he's a guy that handles the bat pretty well, but He hasn't hit much in his professional career, spending most of his pro career in an American League affiliate. Just started to hit when he got traded to the Brewers organization. And he pops this one up. Middle of the infield. The pitcher is calling. Nicolino, now he'll get out of there. And D. Gordon makes a catch for the out. So the Brewers strand a pair, but they get a booming home run from Chris Davis. Opposite field, 400-foot blast. 1-0 Milwaukee. By Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Well, Chris Davis has a run on the board. His 18th homer of the year, RBI number 49, a leadoff homer in the fourth. Brewers up 1-0 as we go to the home half. How about our Carsuit.com trivia today? Which two managers led the Marlins to World Series titles? 1997 and then 2003. It was not Dan Jennings. Good question today.
Yeah, it is.
Zach Davies back to work. He has retired 8 in a row since Gordon's single in the first inning. And it'll be Gordon, Yelich, and Prado. Davies facing the minimum through the first 3 innings. He got a double play that wiped out that leadoff single in the first. A .330 batting average for D. Gordon. Well, he is flourishing here in South Beach. Traded from the Dodgers to the Marlins. Last year was a breakout year for Gordon. He made the All-Star team with the Dodgers. And this year he's been even better. He's leading both leagues in hits. Slaps that one back to the mound. Davies will make the play. And that's 9 in a row retired by Davies. 1 away here in the 4th inning.
And all of them on the ground except for a strikeout. That's what you like to see about with this young kid. He likes to sink that fastball. The changeup's down in the zone. We still haven't seen any curveballs from him. Been basically 2-seamer and changeup.
Hey, look at his first start. He gave up 4 earned runs in a little over 4 innings. Did not get through the 5th inning. But then the rhetoric concerning Davies was just how skilled he was. And got a chance to be excited about a young pitcher. The Brewers have a few of those guys that they're looking forward to giving some starts. Davies is one of the players that will continue in the rotation. Try to get through some of those rookie jitters, some of those rookie adjustments. get that out of the way this year and get him ready to be a factor next year, he'll certainly have a chance to win a spot in the starting rotation next season. Davies pouring in the strikes. 2-2 on Yelich. And that one's on the ground. Segura's got to hurry his throw. He does, and it's in time to get Yelich.
I love that throwing arm from Gene Segura. It makes it look so easy, but it's anything but that throw off balance like that. Hey, today's Time of the Game winner here on Labor Day, High Noon Saloon in Madison. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to an April or May 2016 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
2 up, 2 down for Zach Davies. Strike one to Prado. Davies has 8 consecutive ground ball outs. And 2 quick strikes on Prado. That's his first curveball that we've seen. Ooh, didn't miss by much. Davies has retired 10 straight, 9 ground ball outs, 1 strikeout.
He really hasn't been working too much with the wide of the plate, right? I mean, everything on the corners. Most of the fastballs have been away to right-handers. Changeup's been down. Hasn't made a mistake yet. Even the base hit he gave up to D. Gordon was down around the shoot tops.
Yeah, that was a little flare. Prado pulls one foul. Another 1-2 coming, and it's fouled back. Prado was right on that one. Try the curveball again. Prado was the lone strikeout victim for Davies back in the first inning.
Working the pine tar, isn't he, Prado?
He's got it everywhere. Must be a serious laundry bill every night.
Yeah.
It's up on his shoulder and on the helmet. Popped him up, got in on his hands. Back is Herrera. And Zach Davies is rolling today. 11 straight. He's retired. He's given up just 1 hit. There's some really cool ones in there. Now, this collection, most of it came from the clubhouse manager in Houston at Minute Maid Park. He sold his collection to Jeffrey Loria and the Marlins, and they put this great bobblehead collection out there. It's a beautiful thing. It's really cool to see. I think the Astros clubhouse manager put 2 kids through college with.
Yeah, he got a good chunk of change for that collection, huh? Who would have thought, right?
It's something.
Brew Crew well represented out there in the Bobblehead Museum.
Yeah. Now we got to make sure we get the. I wonder if gnomes are welcome in the Bobblehead Museum.
I don't know.
That's borderline, huh?
Yeah.
What about the Nodder?
Oh yeah, that's
the
a bobblehead.
vintage bobble.
That's a bobblehead, right? Old school.
Swing and a miss by Segura. He leads off once again. So he's in the leadoff spot in the batting order, and this is the 3rd time he's actually led off an inning.
Got some interesting things here in this ballpark, right? The aquarium behind home plate.
Yeah, those are cool. Those are real fish in there. There's a liner into right center. That's going to get down. And the speedy Segura on his way. That goes all the way to the wall. Segura can just cruise into third base with a leadoff triple.
Yeah, can you think of a better triples ballpark than this one here? As big as these alleys are, I mean, it's going to take away a lot of home runs, but when you find a ball into the gap like that, it looked like Yelich went after that, knowing that it was going to be a sure triple with Segura running, and really in no hurry to get it out there. Got it in cleanly, and Segura is in with an easy. That's about an easy cruise triple as you're going to see in the big leagues right there. Brewers looking for their first hit with a man in scoring position today.
And here is Lucroy trying to add to the lead at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Has a double, which came in the 1st inning. Drove one into right center field. Then he popped up into foul territory in the 3rd. Brewers got a run last inning on a Davis homer. Now they threaten again. And there's strike 1 to Lucroy.
Broke out the curveball. So both of these pitchers today, as you get through the batting order, starting to break out the curveballs. Davies did it last inning.
A lot of speed at third base in Segura. Outfield is deep. Won't take much at all to get Segura home if you're thinking
infield back.
Sac fly.
Ground ball up the middle is going to score a run.
This is one of those put in play RBI opportunities for Lucroy. He'd love a hit.
Anything on the ground except for third base.
Lucroy with 40 runs batted in. It's been a down year offensively for Lucroy, but you really draw the line once he came back from the disabled list. He's hitting .275 since that time, which was in early May. He got off to a dreadful start to the season, was hitting .150 before he got injured, and then he missed nearly 40 days. And he's been trying to play catch up since, but it has been only recently, maybe in the last month, that he's really locked into the Lucroy stroke, where he's not just hitting well and for average, but driving the ball into the gaps. And a 2-2 is lined into the gap in left center. A run is in. Segura. It's cut off by Yelich. That'll be another double for Lucroy. So Jonathan Lucroy with an RBI double, and the Brewers lead 2-0.
Boy, did a nice job waiting back on that changeup, didn't he? Up in the zone, he stayed back and able to drive it into the gap in left. Left center, and the Brewers able to finally get a base hit with a man in scoring position. Stayed on it long enough. Segura scores, and Jonathan Lucroy into second base. They like to be able to get Davies some breathing room. Pitching so well. Now 2-0. Stays right on. You can see the way he's able to keep the bat in the hitting zone just a touch longer. And he kept the hands back. That allows him to drive the ball into the gap.
Well, it's a great look at Lucroy barreling up on that changeup. And so a double and an RBI for Lucroy. He's 2 for 3. Now Ryan Braun up there. Still nobody out. Brewers off to a good start here in the 5th inning. A triple and a double.
Nicolino's starting to hang that changeup up in the zone. Early in the game was down. He's getting his ground balls. Davis with a home run on a changeup. And Lucroy with a double on the changeup.
It's always fascinating watching relievers, how they prepare to stretch out and get loose. That's pretty normal, up on the mound, throwing. But watching guys as their number is expected to be called, whether they're laying on the ground or the different kind of stretches, everybody has their own routine down there.
And different guys getting loose at different times. Long relievers always ready from the beginning of the game until about the 4th, 5th inning. And they kind of shut it down a little bit based on the score. Middle relievers, closers, as the game goes on, different guys are getting prepared. Nothing going on right now with the way Davies is pitching.
Now that's the way you want your bullpen, in that posture right there. Everybody's chilling out, hanging out. The Brewers bullpen is right next to the Clevelander bar out there, which is an in-stadium bar, the famous Clevelander nightclub.
Best entertainment in any bullpen in baseball.
And they put glass between them too. I mean, that's all by design, by the way. The Marlins are
keep them distracted.
More than
there.
eager to distract the opposing bullpen.
That bar out there in left field is rocking at night.
Yeah, and it usually, the bass of the music is constantly.
Lights are flashing. Most of the time, guys in the bullpen have no idea what the score is.
No idea, no care in the world. That's Lee Tunnell's got a big job here this week in Miami, the bullpen coach. As Braun takes one just inside.
Yeah, tough take.
And the count at a ball and 2 strikes.
You ever been out there, Clevelander?
I never have.
I have not either.
Got a runner at second. A ball and 2 strikes. And Braun takes low. Boy, that didn't miss by much either. And I can tell Nicolino is feeling like he's making pitches against a former MVP and not getting the calls.
Yeah.
Dancing around the strike zone. Two and 2. Braun with a couple of ground outs today. And a ground ball that's going to advance Lucroy. Gordon will make the play. And Braun is out, but the Brewers put a runner at third base with one away.
And Nicolino almost able to snare that one. And that would have kept Lucroy at second base.
One out for Davis. Let's see if Nicolino goes to that changeup in this at bat. Davis hit a high changeup over the wall his last time up. And he swings and fouls that one back. What a powerful swing it is, Chris Davis.
On a changeup, you have to be awfully strong to be able to do that on a changeup. Exit velocity at almost 98 miles an hour. Supplying all the power by himself.
He's got that home run launch angle, right? That high arcing Uppercut swing. Ground ball past third. That gets by Prado. Coming in to score is Lucroy. Prado, who has been stellar defensively in this game, even robbed Davis of a hit earlier. That one got by him, and Davis will reach. Another run is in. It's 3-0 Milwaukee.
Probably going to be an error on Martin Prado. I mean, that's one of the easier plays he's had today, and tried to grab it on the backhand. Lucroy able to score, but they're going to give him a single. A generous scoring decision. Single RBI for Chris Davis, his second RBI today.
Yeah, he'll take it. So Davis is 2 out of 3. 3-0 Brewers. Here is Adam Lind.
The Brewers continue to rack up the hits. They had 14 hits in the first game of the doubleheader against Cincinnati, 11 in the second game. Swinging the bats well from top to bottom.
Brewers with 8 hits today. Yesterday in the final game of the series with the Reds, Brewers scored 3 runs on 9 hits. No balls and a strike on Adam Lind. 1 for 2 today. Had a base hit back up the middle his last time up. And another check on Davis. Well, the Washington Nationals have come roaring back. Mets had a lead in that game, 3-0 at one point. But Washington now leads 5-3. A grand slam by Wilson Ramos to give the Nationals the lead. The Mets have home runs from Conforto and Kelly Johnson. Cespedes has homered again, his 31st. Mets jumped out early on Max Scherzer, and Jonathan East has given it right back. If the Nationals win that game, that's a 3-game lead in that division.
Yeah, if they win it, they have a 6-game winning streak, so they're starting to put things together.
Cubs and Cardinals are underway, bottom of the first inning. Cubs scored at the top of the first. That's a key series for both teams. The Pirates are trailing the Reds 3-0 in the 5th. And Lind hammers that one center field. That is way back there. One hop off the fence. Rounding third, headed home is Davis. He will score, and it's an RBI double for Adam Lind. Just a monster shot that would have been out in most ballparks.
No doubt.
In the big leagues.
That's a hang with him for Adam Lind. That's a 2-run homer in most ballparks, but not here. 30th double, though. And yet another hit for the Brewers with the man in scoring position. And Nicolino once again leaving one up in the strike zone, out over the plate. So Adam Lind, 2 hits and RBI against a left-handed pitcher. The only left-hander in the Brewers batting order today. Well, he's starting to really put together some good at-bats against lefties.
Well, he one hopped it off the fence. He hit that ball about 410 feet. And it's an RBI double. And that'll be the last batter that Nicolino faces. So the Brewers chase the Marlins starter in the 5th. And they lead 4-0. We got a pitching change here. Adam Lind with an RBI double, the knockout punch for the Marlins starter. And now Brian Ellington will take the ball for Dan Jennings.
Yeah, pretty good numbers. He got called up from AAA New Orleans on August 3rd and spent most of the year in AA Jacksonville. 4-1, a 251 earned run average in 25 games.
Facing Domingo Santana, who's been on twice, an infield hit and a walk. Still just 1 out in the inning. 3 runs are in for the Brewers, and the hard-throwing Ellington misses inside. Ellington with 3 consecutive scoreless outings out of the bullpen, and going multiple innings, once against the Nationals, but an inning and a third against Washington last week.
Last pitch on the 4th against the Mets. Got to win a scoreless inning.
Two balls, no strikes on Santana. And a called strike, 2-1. Interesting note on Ellington, and I'm not sure I've seen this much.
Yeah.
But as a professional pitcher, he was allowed to miss the month of July. The Marlins let him break away from the team to go play for Team USA in the Pan Am Games.
That's a new one on me. Never heard that before.
There's a strike. 2-2 the count now.
Of course, you never see a guy in the big leagues be able to do that, but now he's down in AA. I would imagine A ball, they let you.
He pitched in 5 games. That was the silver medal winning team at the Pan Am Games. So great experience, some world travel, and get to play on an all-star type team in the month of July. I guess the Marlins figure that's all part of the development. And now here he is in the big leagues. 2-2 count. Santana fouls it away. Little half swing.
They say you can get it up there in the upper 90s, 96 to 98 miles an hour with a fastball. Change up and curveball.
Try it again, another 2-2. Santana takes inside, able to check his swing. Well, the Brewers giving Zach Davies some offense. They put 4 on the board. Davies has been impressive today. He's retired 11 straight. He's only given up 1 hit. That was a single by D. Gordon. Everything else, ground outs or strikeouts for the most part. Davies has 1 fly ball out and 1 strikeout.
Can't get hurt too bad when you're keeping the ball on the ground, right? Getting your ground ball outs. Been impressive.
Full count to Santana. He takes ball 4. So Domingo, who said he wanted to show a little more plate discipline, he's walked twice here today. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong Fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag #WisDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. And we thank Scott for his entry today. I'm guessing Scott is in the middle. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I agree. It's his picture. Should be in the middle, shouldn't he?
Unless it's a selfie, and then you got to work. You got to work the camera on your own.
You know, we have our VIP visits, during the
Yes.
season in the booth. We're always in the middle, right?
You're in the middle.
I'm behind because if
you're
I'm in
kind
the
of-
front or in
right.
the middle, I drowned out everybody.
Then it would be a selfie.
Yeah.
No, I promise we were really in the booth with Bill Schroeder.
Yeah.
We're just standing behind him.
Yeah, you just can't see me.
An eclipse of the sun. You are bigger than most people.
Yeah, most people that come in to visit the booth. Yep, you're right.
Perez with a good swing, fouls it back. 1-2 to count. Two on, one out. Perez trying to add to the Brewers' lead here. They've got 3 in, and that ball is hammered left field. And Dietrich cannot make the play. Lynn starts it up. He'll score. Santana's right behind him. And he's in. And the Brewers get 2 more on a double by Hernan Perez.
Just pulling the hands in. Very quick hands on the inner part of the plate. Inside corner, actually. And Perez with his second base hit. Check it out. I mean, that ball wasn't even close to being a strike. A two-seamer. Dietrich went back. I thought for a second he was just going to figure he was going to play it off the wall, but he got back there, just missed it over his head, bobbled, and that allowed Santana to score the bobble out there and left. Yeah, Brewers with a crooked number here in the 5th inning.
5 runs are in. It's 6-0 Brewers on 10 hits now. Still just 1 out. Here is Herrera. Fouls it back.
How quick are those hands? I mean, that pitch was about 6 inches off the inside corner. Very impressive by Hernan Perez, bottom of the order, putting up some numbers on this road trip.
Perez is 2 for 3 today. Herrera takes a strike. A swing and a foul tip right into the middle of the catcher. That'll be a strikeout. So Herrera is gone. He's having a tough day. He's one of the only ones that are struggling offensively. Second out of the inning. And the first strikeout for Ellington. Now to bring up the pitcher, Zach Davies. The Brewers have batted around here in the 5th inning.
Yeah,
Ninth man up.
Yeah, blew the fastball right by him at 95 miles an hour. Mixed it up pretty well in that at bat to Herrera. I haven't seen that big fastball from Ellington. 95, not out of the ordinary these days. I mean, just about everybody's throwing that hard.
And another pop up. Davies is the final out, but the Brewers put up a big number. 5 runs in. Segura started it with a triple. Lucroy with an RBI double. Chris Davis with an RBI. Adam Lynn picks up a ribby. And then Hernan Perez with 2 stakes. Brewers lead 6-0.
This Labor Day edition of the Crew in the Community, Brewers Community Foundation encourages all fans to purchase season-ending 50/50 raffle tickets. Proceeds from ticket sales provide critically needed support for quality nonprofits throughout Milwaukee. Be a part of making a difference and take a chance. You may win 50% of the day's raffle sales. Look for sellers in bright orange T-shirts from the minute gates open until the middle of the 4th inning. Good luck to those who participate. B.A.
All right, Telly, thanks. Here we go to the Marlins half of the 5th inning. After the Brewers put 5 on the board in the 5th, they lead it 6-0, and now Davies will try to keep it rolling. Been a while since he's been on the mound, though. That was a long half inning at the plate. And with the shift on, Justin Bourne defies it. Slaps one to left field, a base hit. And that is the first hit for the Marlins since the 1st inning.
Yeah, not a bad pitch, but Bourne didn't try and pull it. Just tried to lay the bat on it and flick of the wrist out into left field. Not much you can do about that. That is a big man right there. Justin Bourne. Oh, Eric Hinsky in him.
I mean, look, he makes Adam Lind look small. So a lead runner on for the Marlins. Here's Marcell Ozuna now. Ozuna grounded to second base in the 2nd inning. Mostly ground ball outs today for Zach Davies.
Well, that's a good location right there, right on the outside corner and down in the zone.
Count stays at 0-2. Ozuna getting to start in right field today. Marlins were hopeful that Giancarlo Stanton was going to be able to return last week. He's been on the disabled list since June 26 with a broken left hand. And as he was going through minor league rehab, he felt some discomfort in that hand. There's a base hit to right. Back-to-back singles for the Marlins. And so the Fish coming up with a couple of hits here. Nobody on, and now Davies will have to go to work.
Yeah, that pitch, one of the few that he's made a mistake on. He tried to shoot the outside corner, but got it up. And check it out. Watch the pitch. One of the few pitches that he's left upstairs, and Ozuna takes advantage of it. Hits it hard into right field.
Two on, nobody out for Derek Dietrich. There is a possibility that Giancarlo Stanton might not play again this season. There's only 4 weeks left. And he's having some discomfort in that hand. Those are tough to come back from. It's one thing to let the injury heal when you have a hamate bone, the broken bone in the wrist. It's another thing to come back and then be able to hit big league pitching. Not only have you missed time, but that's your firing mechanism right there, your hand.
Yeah, and really, what's the sense, right? I mean, unless he's 100%, why throw him out there? Risk further injury.
Played in just 74 games, but look at the numbers.
Yeah, no
in
kidding,
74 games, he hit 27 homers.
Kind of disappointing that he got hurt. I mean, you know, you always like to watch guys like this. And you can check out something going on with him.
That's the hamate bone where the fracture, and he did it on a swing, which was interesting.
Must have been something going on before the swing, right?
Feels like that was ready to crack.
Yeah, but getting back to it though, I mean, it would have been fun to watch Stanton, and you know what kind of numbers he would have been able to put up had he been healthy. With all of those home runs and all those RBIs in a short period of time.
Yeah, I agree.
It's good for the game. Guys like him.
Get him ready to jumpstart next year. Marlins feel like they can fight their way back into it this season. There's a pop-up by Dietrich, and Lucroy will make the call and the catch. That's a big out there for Davies.
Yep, infield fly rule called by home plate umpire Marvin Hudson.
So the runners have to stay put. Davies is trying to follow up a 5-run Brewers top of the 5th. And those all-important shutdown innings. So now a double play will get him out of the inning. And the catcher, JT Realmuto, is on the bat. And a base hit to right. Bohr will stop at third with the Marlins down 6.
Yeah. Well, and Bohr not the fastest guy on the field either. Well, second time through the batting order, the Marlins starting to make better contact. This is the point in the game where the Pirates started to get some pretty good swings. Davies got through the first time through the order pretty quickly with not much problem. Second time a little bit different. Nick Kranitz on his way out, just wants to calm him down. But you're right, he was in that dugout quite a long time. He was on a roll. It's great to have that offense. Brewers able to bat around, but that kept Davies on the bench for quite a long time. Pulled him off a little bit.
Pitching coach Rick Kranitz, former Marlins pitching coach in the Joe Girardi years here in Miami.
Yeah, this is where that curveball, you got to start breaking out that curveball. They say he's got a good one. We haven't seen much of it. But second time through the batting order, these big league hitters, even the young ones, are going to make adjustments. That's why they're here. They're starting to get better swings on the fastball and changeup. Mix in the curveball a little bit.
So a big spot for Davies. He has a 6-0 lead to work with, but the Marlins have him loaded. Donovan Solano is the batter. In need of a ground ball double play here. The pitcher spot due up next. Solano did ground out. He rolled one right to first base his last time up. And Davies falls behind 2-0. On the ground, chance to turn two. Segura to Herrera. The throw to first is high, and a run will score. Well, the Brewers had a chance to get out of the inning with a double play ball, but Realmuto made it tough on Herrera to make that turn.
Wasn't hit all that hard, two-hopper. Segura tries to charge it, but look at the Marlins catcher. He takes out Herrera, disrupts the throw a little bit off the mark, and the Marlins on the board. Good throw gets him, but Realmuto all over Herrera at second base.
Segura did all he could. Good feed. And Realmuto,
clean slide and disrupts the throw, and he's safe. Would have been close anyway.
So a run is in on a fielder's choice. Solano gets credit for an RBI. And here's Casey McGee. Ground ball right back to the mound. McGee on the first pitch. And that will end the inning. So Davies minimizes the damage. Only one run in. 6-1 Brewers as we go to the 6th inning. Big leagues. 22-year-old Zach Davies does a good job, gets out of a jam, surrendering just the 1 run. He's through 5 innings now. Speaking of minor league pitchers, our Blaine's Farm and Fleet down on the farm. Look who is re-emerging as a prospect, Wei-Chung Wong. Yesterday, pitching in AAA, went 6 shutout innings, had 5 strikeouts, so he began his year at Brevard County in Single A, did very well there. In high A ball, he ends up in AAA now after being in the big leagues last year.
Good numbers, huh? 354 earned run average.
Brewers invested a lot in Wei-Chung Wong, keeping him in the major leagues all season last season. They would love to get a return on that investment at some point.
Yeah, 7th game for Eric Courtier. It seems like one of these games where the Marlins are going to have a new pitcher every inning. With the September call-ups, plenty of arms to go to. Started the year with the Giants. He got released, but signed by the Marlins.
And Segura leads off again and rips one into right field. So another base hit for Segura. He's led off 4 times today and is now 2 for 4. Just out of the reach of D. Gordon.
And he's just swinging the bat with much more authority these days. The last 10 days to 2 weeks, I mean, something clicked into the head of Gene Segura where he's starting to really drive the baseball. And not feeling for it, satisfied with the singles. He's been driving the baseball into the gap for doubles and triples.
So Lucroy will bat with a runner at first. Brewers now with 11 hits. Scored 5 runs on 5 hits last inning. 5 hits and a walk last inning. Lucroy has 2 of them, 2 doubles. Driven in a run. See if Segura tries to steal a base. Brewers are up 6-1. The old unwritten rules of when to steal a base and when not to, that really doesn't apply much anymore. The way leads are, they come and go, and
5-run leads nothing these days.
Nothing.
I mean, they're not even considering that.
You got to keep playing.
Yeah, how many big leads do you see evaporate in the big leagues these days? I mean, 5-run lead, that's not that big. Got to keep adding on any way you can.
Segura has 20 steals. He and Braun with 20 stolen base seasons this season. Matter of fact, Ryan Braun is now the club leader in that category. He's got 25 homers and 22 stolen bases.
Ryan Braun looking to get into the hit parade here today.
Braun and Herrera, the 2 position players without a hit. Everybody else has at least 1 hit, and a number of the Brewers in the lineup have multiple hits. One and one to Lucroy. And there goes Segura, swing and a miss, and a stolen base for Gene Segura. Big swing by Lucroy. And it looks like he's grabbing at his back a little bit. I think he hit his back on his follow through. Check it out here as Segura steals second.
Yeah, looks in, knows where the baseball is. No play for Real Muto behind home plate. Yeah, he did. He hit himself right on the hip bone in the back.
I know, right away he clutched at his back, like his hip area. And you're thinking, oh man, not a back injury, but I think that was an impact pain. He'll be fine. Easy for me to say.
He's young. He's tough. He's used to getting hit.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Base hit should score another run. And Lucroy fouls that one off.
Courtier got a good changeup. You know, they say that the changeup's a pretty good pitch. He's got the fastball in the upper 90s. And he'll cut the fastball and back-to-back changeups to Lucroy.
Lucroy, center field. That's down, a base hit. Segura got a great jump, but he'll stop at third as the throw comes in from Yelich. Jonathan Lucroy with his third hit of the day. Well, Telly Hughes was right on the money in his open report today, talking about Lucroy's hitting, and Lucroy has responded with 3 hits.
Yeah, change up that stayed down the middle of the plate. Lucroy down on the handle just a little bit. Hits it hard into center field, and with Ryan Braun coming up, Ed Cedar doesn't want to risk sending Segura and having him get thrown out at home plate. It's been an amazing offensive attack for the Brewers in the last week to 10 days. All started against the Pirates.
Powerball home run leaderboard. Braun sitting at the top. He's got a chance to hit 30 this year. 25 home runs for Ryan Braun. And then Davis with his 18th, joining Adam Lind. Lind had homered in Cincinnati over the weekend. Braun, center field, had that sound. Had his way back. Yelich looks up, and he can make the play. It's off the wall. Segura scores. Lucroy to third, and Braun with a blast for a double into deep center field.
Boy, yeah, they should be bringing in the fences here, huh? That's 2 home runs the Brewers would have had in a lot of different ballparks. Oh, he hits it to the deepest part of the ballpark. 418 out there in the center field, that high fence. Yeah, Brody thought he got it. You can see the way he's running right now. He thought did. That was a big fly. I don't blame him. I mean, that ball was crushed into center field. Watch where it hits. Actually, Yelich had a chance to catch it. Hit off the bottom of the fence, and one run in. Boy, oh boy.
That is a long, long way out there.
And you think about, 27 home runs for Stanton in this ballpark.
Crazy. No ballpark holds him.
Can you imagine how many you would have at Miller Park? That is one strong young man right there. He has hit some of the longest home runs you'll ever see, and a lot of them in this ballpark. It's a shame he's hurt.
So Chris Davis, Brewers now lead 7-1, and Davis pops it foul. It is interesting to look at Stanton, and just looking at that close-up of Giancarlo. It is impressive what the doctors were able to do to the plastic surgery he had. Remember, he was hit right below the eye. That Mike Fiers fastball in Milwaukee last year that ended the season. You would hardly know he's been through anything like that.
Yep.
He ripped his lip, and he's got a little bit of a scar right there on his lip.
He doesn't appear to have any internal scars either. I mean, the emotions, or the being kind of gun shy up there at the plate, that might have been an issue early on, but based on the numbers that he was able to put up this year, tough kid, tough to come back from in a lot of cases.
They're going to walk Adam Lind. That'll load the bases and give the Marlins a double play chance. Another run is in. The Brewers have 7 runs on 13 hits, and most of them coming in the last 2 innings. It was 1-0 going into the 5th, and then a 5-run 5th. The Brewers have 1 in here with soon to be bases loaded and 1 out. Intentional walk to Lind will set the stage for Domingo Santana. Dan Jennings looking on, wondering how he's going to get through this game with his pitching. Got activity in his bullpen. The starter Nicolino was chased last inning. Santana takes a strike.
And Brewers looking for the knockout punch here today. Santana has the opportunity to do it. Much more patient than he was when he first came up. I mean, that's what playing time does for you. You're getting more comfortable in the batter's box, more comfortable in the big leagues. Laying off pitches out of the strike zone.
1 ball, 1 strike. Bases are full of Brewers. Santana, center field, hit deep. Yelich going back. He'll make the catch. But plenty deep to score Lucroy. And the Brewers lead it 8-1 on a sacrifice fly and an RBI from Santana. Domingo with his 9th run batted in as a Brewer. Still has not been retired. With a single and 2 walks and now a sac fly. It's a second out of the inning. Braun advanced as well. So first and third for Hernan Perez. He's had 2 hits today, including a 2 RBI double last inning. Oh, look out. Up and in, almost hit him.
Happiest guy in the ballpark right there. Darnell Cole's the Brewers hitting coach. I mean, how long has he been waiting for this kind of offense, right? I mean, these guys are swinging the bats.
Yeah, really good approaches too. You know, it's the power numbers. The percentage is there, but it's the good 2-strike hitting. Up the middle idea, the thought that you can go to the opposite field.
Advancing base runners, the sac flies. Yep. Everybody always wants to talk about the hitting coach when things aren't going well. I think we decided we should talk about the hitting coach when things are going well.
Right.
Not just when they're getting shut out. Doing a heck of a job, that man right there. He and John Shelby.
And Perez, another base hit. That's going to drive in a run. Hernan Perez with 3 hits. His 3rd run batted in. The Brewers make it 9-1. Well, what a performance by the Brewers offensively. And Perez has a swing that looks like he could be a real presence in a lineup.
No kidding. And he's very good at third base. I mean, he's showing good range and a good throwing arm at third. And check this out. Fastball outer half, a nice easy swing, and I tell you, keeps the bat in the hitting zone a long time, man. That ball just jumps off his bat. There was a stretch of time where he wasn't getting a whole lot of playing time. Brewers have started to face a few more left-handers, and he's got that swing back.
Pitching change at Marlins Park. The Brewers doing some damage. Been a hit parade today. Look at the box score. Got multiple hits from most of the Brewers regulars today. And Hernan Perez is having a big game. 3 hits, 3 runs batted in. And a 3-hit game from Lucroy. And a home run from Chris Davis.
Bottom half of the order with 4 RBIs today. Just continues to be productive down there. And third different reliever now for the Marlins, Jose Urena. 13th appearance. He's made 9 starts this year. And 4th out of the bullpen for him. Spent some time on the disabled list. Last pitched on the 5th against the Mets, tossed a scoreless inning.
So Herrera trying to join the party here in Miami. 9-1 Brewers as we play in the 6th. 3 runs are in after a 5-run 5th inning. This game was scoreless going into the 4th. Completely turned around. And Herrera, oh, what a play by poor man. What a great play that was to end the inning. And poor Elian Herrera is still the only regular without a hit. Moore took one away there. Man, the Brewers are lighting it on fire today on Labor Day. Braun hit a bomb for an RBI, a double. Santana with a sac fly, and then Perez with his 3rd ribby of the day. 9-1 Brewers.
Take a look at our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Craig Counsell announced that Ariel Pena will make his first major league start on Wednesday, moving Willie Peralta to start on Thursday in the first game of a 4-game series in Pittsburgh. Taylor Youngman will get the ball for the Brewers tomorrow. But for one of the biggest and brightest young pitchers in baseball, the Marlins, Jose Fernandez, who has been out since August 7th, through a simulated game earlier today here at Marlins Park. He returned from Tommy John surgery back on July 2nd, but made his last start on August 7th. He pitched in 7 games this year, had a 4-0 record with a 2.30 ERA, and he's been shut down, and there's a big debate on if they should continue to shut him down for the rest of this year. Fernandez wants to come back and pitch at least a couple more times this season, but he's been rehabbing, and we'll see if the Marlins decide to go ahead and allow him to do so. As you're taking a look at some video from earlier today, this is what the scene was here when the Brewers arrived at the ballpark, as Jose Fernandez is hoping to return to the mound this season for the Marlins. BA.
And you know what, Telly, if you have stuff like that and you can dominate like that, why wouldn't you want to pitch?
Right, no kidding. You see that slow-mo on that the arm? You can understand why these pitchers have Tommy John surgery. A lot of torque on that shoulder, elbow. But yeah, when he's healthy, not too many better. It's just a matter of the risk reward. I mean, the risk of bringing him back and not being ready, maybe hurting himself again. You'd rather have him ready for 2016.
There's a called strike 3 as Davies strikes out Yelich, and 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning. I think the one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is the psychological standing of the player who goes through a surgery. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. I'm sure the Marlins medical staff, they're not going to take any chances with Fernandez, but for him to get back on the mound, to go into an offseason feeling like everything's stable and strong, right now he doesn't have that feeling. He had to be shut down after that start Telly mentioned in August, early August. He went just 4 innings in that game. And, there's doubt in his mind whether the surgery was a success, whether he is able to come back strong next year. So maybe you give him a few starts.
Yeah.
Plus, he wants to pitch, and if he's healthy, it's a nice boost for the organization, too, to see a guy like this, who is one of the great young pitchers in the game.
Make everybody feel good, right? He feels good. The organization knows that they have a healthy pitcher coming into next year. You really monitor his pitch count. You leave him out there for maybe 3 or 4 innings and take him out. You don't allow him to get tired and get that fatigue factor. That's when you hurt yourself again.
Prado now on a 1-2 count. Davies trying to make this a quick inning. Prado has seen a lot of pitches here today. He has seen 19 pitches from Davies. He's 0 for 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. And that one is in there. A called strike 3. How about Zach Davies coming back with a 3-up, 3-down, 6th inning. To jam. And he and the Brewers have a big lead as we go to the Milwaukee 7th. Carsoup.com trivia. Which 2 managers led the Marlins to World Series titles in '97 and 2003? 2 of the great characters of the game as managers. Jim Leland and Trader Jack.
Yeah.
Trader Jack McKeon back in '03. Miguel Rojas will take over at shortstop for the Marlins. That's going to move Solano over to third base, and Prado is out. So after that called strike 3 on Prado, he declares he's had enough. And
I don't think it happened quite like that.
somebody has declared Prado has had enough.
This manager, take a seat.
And Jennings declares that Prado has had enough after 2 walk-offs over the weekend.
Can you imagine?
And the new pitcher is Urena. So a double switch here. Nope, straight up, I beg your pardon.
Yeah, Arena's been in.
Arena came on to finish the last inning. Davies, another pop-up. That is amazing. He's done that 3 consecutive at-bats, almost the exact same pop-up.
Good news is he's batted 4 times.
That's right. And he's 0 for 4 with 4 pop-ups.
And he'll take that any day. 4 at-bats with a 9-1 lead. Looking for his first major league victory. Brewers have had a number of those this year. Taylor Youngman had one.
Pena.
This is his second start, Davies.
Telly mentioned that Pena will get the start on Wednesday. That was a bit of a shift in the rotation. Council will have Peralta start in game 1 against the Pirates on Thursday. And what do you make of Ariel Pena getting his first big league start?
Yeah, he threw the baseball pretty well down in the minor leagues. He was in the bullpen for the most part in AAA. They moved him into the starting rotation, made 7 starts. Looked pretty good. The question for Pena is going to be, is he going to be able to come up with that 3rd pitch? Something off speed with fastball slider in Cincinnati. Got a win, 3 innings. Took over for Willie Peralta after the Rains game.
Pena came to the Brewers with Gene Segura and Johnny Hellwig in the Zach Greinke deal 2012. Greinke went to the Angels that year. And the Brewers got 3 in return. Segura's been the brightest star. Hellwig came to the big leagues, struggled, and ended up needing Tommy John surgery. He's on the comeback trail this year. And now Pena getting his first run in the major leagues. Gene's had a good day at the plate. 2 hits. He's 2 for 4. Scored twice. Had a stolen base last inning.
How about Willie Peralta, now the veteran in the starting rotation?
That's crazy. And a fly ball right field. Ozuna is back. And there is the second out. Yeah, 26-year-old Willie Peralta is the
old man in the rotation.
wily old veteran down there. 2 outs for Lucroy. 3 hits today for Jonathan Lucroy. First at bat, line one into right center field for a double. Second at bat, he went into left center field for a double and drove in a run. Also scored a run in that inning. And then last time up, a base hit to center.
Average up to 263 now for Lucroy.
When they say he's hitting gap to gap, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Everything's right in the middle of the field and hit firmly.
A lot of Brewers have been able to raise their batting averages in the last couple of weeks.
The Brewers in the last 3 innings, they have had 22 players come to the plate prior to this inning. Batted around in the 5th. 8 men reached, or rather batted in the 6th inning.
They've had 18 at-bats with men in scoring position. First 6 innings.
What are they, 6 for 18?
Yes.
That's a good day.
.333, that's not bad.
Think about it this way. The Marlins, for the game, have had 21 at-bats. And the Brewers had 22 in a 3-inning stretch. That's a positive on 2 fronts. On the Brewers offense and how efficient Zach Davies has been, who's coming off a 9-pitch inning. Lucroy fouls it away.
I was around the batting cage today talking to Darnell Coles, like you usually do, before the game, talking about the pitcher that they're going to face and some of the things that his hitters are working on. And he said, happy birthday, what can I get you? I said, how about a snowman today?
Wow, he exceeded that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can just sit back and relax, Darnell Coles. That's not a familiar pose for him.
drop a snowman on him here in Miami. They don't see many of them here.
Would that be considered a Baker's snowman? 9 runs?
Yeah.
I've heard of a Baker's dozen.
Right. Good day for plate. Good day at the ballpark. 9 runs.
And you know what? For a guy like Darnell Coles who grinds every day, it's good for him to cool the jets for a little bit.
Hate to tell you, he's still grinding. Watching every at bat, taking notes. These coaches never take time off. Giving Logan Schaefer a scouting report on a pitcher that he might face. He might be coming into the ball game actually.
I figure Schaefer will take over in center field.
Brewers have an extensive scouting report sheet on every pitcher they're going to face in a particular day and break it down to an amazing level.
2-out walk for Lucroy. His 4th trip on the base pads, and that's going to bring up Ryan Braun. We've had 2 400-foot doubles in this game, Lind and Braun.
Got to pull them.
They would have been off the scoreboard at Miller Park, and both of them landed inside that wall. Chris Davis had a 400-foot blast over the 392 sign in right center. The lone home run for the Brewers. His 18th of the year.
You might see some of the Brewers regulars take a seat after this at bat. Maybe Ryan Braun gets a bit of a rest.
Could see that.
Maybe take Lucroy out. Brewers have an 8-run lead. Brewers have an off day coming up next Monday, a week from today.
And he whistles that one back up the middle, a base hit. So Braun thinking about 2. Will stop at first. Lucroy goes all the way to third base. And Braun 2 for 5 today, if in fact that is his final at bat.
Yep, it is. He's out. Logan Schaefer going to pinch run. And Lucroy able to chug on into third base on the single.
So a good day's work. Braun is done for the day. 2 out of 5. And Schaefer will run. Probably see Schaefer go to center field. That'll move Santana to right, I'm guessing. And Davis on the ground to third base. That will retire the side thanks to a great play by Gordon, who gets the tag on Logan Schaefer to end the inning. So that's that. The Brewers get a couple of hits. Davies returns to the mound. It's 9-1. Rewind. We welcome you on this Labor Day, and the Brewers doing the heavy lifting today offensively, but Zach Davies is moving into the headlines. What a performance. He's in line for his first major league win. He has faced just 21 batters through the first 6 innings. He has just 80 pitches through the first 6 innings. Most of those are ground ball outs. Surrendered a run in the 5th inning, but worked out of a bases loaded jam. And Zach Davies has been a nice story today in his first road start as a Milwaukee Brewer. There are the changes. You got Schaefer in center. Move Santana to right as Ryan Braun is out of the game.
Yeah, he's faced the minimum, Zach Davies, except for the 5th inning. Remember, he sat around in that dugout a long time. The Brewers batted around in a 5-run top of the inning, 5-run top of the first. Kind of struggled in that inning, but every other inning has been facing the minimum. 3 up, 3 down innings. He's had 4 of them today.
Davies working on Justin Bour, and a swing and a miss. That off-speed stuff has been spot on for the most part today for Davies. Change-ups, curveballs. That Bour way out in front.
Hadn't made too many mistakes today, has he? And the one real mistake that he made was on Ozuna, fastball up and away. It was a bad pitch up, but even the other base hits weren't all that bad.
Now with the shift on, Herrera's right there, and there is out number 1 for Davies.
Hey, download MLB.com Ballpark, the official app of Miller Park. Personalize your trip to the ballpark with mobile ticket access, concession maps, seat upgrades, in-seat merchandise ordering, and more. Download the app today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
One away. Here is Ozuna. 1 for 2. Only scoring inning for the Marlins was in the 5th. They put 3 runners on with 3 hits in that inning. But Davies managed to work through it and only surrendered the 1 run.
Pitch count in good shape, 87 pitches. 58 of them strikes.
Yeah, good fastball outside corner. It's impressive how he sets it up too. That sequence there. So the pitch prior to that called strike, he threw a breaking ball, but in that same window, and it broke away. Ozuna didn't chase, and now he punches him out. So Davies strikes out Ozuna.
Good changeup again. That's an amazing pitch. It's really a good pitch. Good arm action on it. Just dives as it gets to home plate. And Ozuna way out in front. You see the grip, the rotation, ball sinks, and Ozuna out in front of it. So breaking pitch, fastball, changeup.
Davies just at 22 years of age, he has such a great feel for pitching. When he was with the Orioles, and once the Brewers made that trade, Buck Showalter called Doug Melvin, said, "You guys got a great trade." Now there's been an ejection here. And I believe Dan Jennings has just been thrown out. That was some kind of balls and strikes argument right there. And I'm not sure where it started from, but Marvin Hudson was hearing no more of it.
No idea what it's about. It had to be something about balls and strikes. You can't do it. You can't argue them, even from the dugout. A little frustration for Jennings.
Well, Dietrich
didn't like the call.
Didn't like the call. Hudson jawing with Jennings, and out he goes.
The only pitch I remember was last inning. Remember Yelich was upset about a third strike? Probably went back and was talking to his manager about a bad strike called and didn't like that one there to Dietrich. Borderline, got the call. Throwing a lot of strikes. You got an 8-run lead. You're going to get that pitch.
Yeah, that's not
out of line.
No. Come on.
We're all for big strike zones.
I'm saying, let's go. The pitcher's got to have that call. And a fly ball center field. Schaefer's got a long way to go. He'll run it down. And Zach Davies just keeps rolling along, unfazed, pitching with poise, in line for his first big league win. Congratulatory handshake, and Kranitz to follow. And what a terrific performance in his second major league start. First start on the road. He goes 7 innings, 1 run, 4 strikeouts, and got a chance to win for the first time as a big leaguer.
Man, love to watch him pitch. I mean, when he first came up, you look at him, everybody talking about his size and 155 pounds. When he's out there on the mound, you don't even think about it. It's not even an issue, and that's what everybody said about Davies when he came up. First thing you're going to think about is he's not a very big guy, and kind of slight of built, and when you watch him pitch, that all goes out the window, and they're right.
Well, Adam Lind will lead off for the Brewers. Brewers lead 9-1. They've out-hit the Marlins 15-4. Davies goes 7 innings with those 4 hits, only 1 run allowed. He struck out 4. And Davies did not walk a batter. Urena back out there. Number of changes for the Marlins here. Marlins have a new catcher in the game. That is Talese. Gillespie's out in center field now, Rock. And that moves Yelich over to left. And that moves Dietrich into second base. So new catcher, new center fielder, second baseman, and left fielder. 8th inning. And a manager that has been ejected. Lynn draws a walk. Leadoff walk here in the 8th. Well, Fox Sports Wisconsin is proud to partner with Girls on the Run Greater Milwaukee to empower girls to be healthy and confident. Join us for the Girls on the Run Fall 5K on Sunday, November 15th at Bayshore Town Center in Glendale. To register, visit foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the upcoming events tab. Domingo Santana's had a good day at the plate. Walked twice, has an infield hit, drove in a run with a sac fly his last time up. Well, that game in D.C. is super entertaining right now, Rock. The Mets have retaken the lead in that game. Mets are now up 6-5 as Santana deep to center field. That is way back. Oh, what a catch by Gillespie. Oh, my goodness. That was an impressive play.
He hurt himself.
Crashed into the wall. I think he had the ball in his hand when he hit the wall.
Yeah. He knocked the wind out of himself perhaps, but that's a heck of a play. Another home run taken away by Marlins Park today. That's a long run out there in center field, and you just hope it's going to be a wind knocked out of him. The ball up against the wall. I think the chest of Gillespie ran right into the baseball. Check it out. Never takes his eye off of it. And I think that's what happened.
Wow.
He went in hard against that padding in center field and able to keep it in the glove.
Right in the chest. Athletic trainer is out to check on him. What a great catch, man. I'm not so sure Yelich is going to make that play. He's not running well. Yeah, the ball hit the palm of the glove and then planted into the padding.
Yeah, I think that baseball just stuck right into the ribs. Right in the heel of the glove. Able to make the catch. You see the reaction of Gillespie, but able to get it in and didn't have him to go back to first base.
And so he will remain in the game. That's impressive. Tough luck for Santana.
Got to stop hitting him into center field, right?
Brewers have hit at least 4 400-foot baseballs in this game. One of them went out, the other 2 for doubles, and this one ends up as an out. And a former Brewer farmhand, Cole Gillespie, takes one away from Santana. So 1 out, runner at first for Hernan Perez. 3 hits today, 3 runs batted in. Quickly 0-2.
And a nice thing about the hits for Perez today, center field, left field, right field. So he's hitting the ball all over the diamond, not trying to pull it too much. He's been very good. Bottom of the order once again. Can't say it enough.
Perez, right center field, fairly deep. Gillespie with a much easier chance on this one, and there is out number 2. To bring up Herrera. He's still looking for his first hit. The only starting position player without one. 0 for 4. Brewers didn't need him today, though. 9 runs, 15 hits. The Brewers have stranded 10. Still has scored 9. Mets have added another run to their lead. They're up 7-5 now in the 7th. Cubs are all over the Cardinals today. 8-0 Chicago in St. Louis. That game's just in the 4th inning. Addison Russell has homered. Dexter Fowler has homered. Reds lead the Pirates right now 3-1 in the 9th with Aroldis Chapman on the mound. Starting to smell like a loss for the Pirates. Herrera, a line drive right to the left fielder Yelich to end the inning. Series titles and then salary dumps shortly thereafter. Each of those World Series wins. There's Scooter Gennett. He'll take over at second base. The Brewers will have Tyler Thornburg in the game. Herrera moves over to third. And I'm pretty sure that's Hernan Perez playing shortstop right now.
That it is.
So it gives Segura a chance to sit. Martin Maldonado is also behind the plate.
Thornburg in for the 18th time. Last pitch in game 2 of the doubleheader in Cincinnati. Gave up a run in an inning of work that included a strikeout. Has pitched pretty well since his return to the big leagues. 11 appearances and a .235 earned run average.
And a liner down the right field line by Talise. A base hit. He's going to, nope, he'll hold up. He took a big turn, but Santana's got a big arm.
Better not. He does have a good arm out in right field, no matter where he's playing. Hey, Saturday, September 19th, it's Fan Appreciation Night presented by Chevrolet. The Brewers host the Reds. And all fans in attendance will be automatically entered to win a number of great prizes, including a grand prize of a brand new Chevy Trax. For details, go to brewers.com/fan appreciation. September 19th. Win a new car.
Sounds like a good day to win a new car.
When isn't a good day to win a new car, right?
Well, September 17th is, it's not a great day to win a car. December 31st. At least you buy one more year of taxes on it.
Yeah.
Donovan Solano at the plate. Has the lone RBI for the Marlins today. Drove a run in on a ground ball on a fielder's choice with the bases loaded back in the 5th. That was the only run that Davies allowed. He was impressive today. Davies in just his second major league start. After going 4 1/3 and allowing 4 runs against the Pirates his first time around. 7 innings, 1 run today.
5 3 up, 3 down innings, and didn't waste any time doing it. Throwing a lot of strikes. 98 pitches, 65 of them for strikes.
At one point he retired 11 straight, and then he finished his outing today by retiring 8 straight. All good work. Now the Brewers are 6 outs away from sealing up his first big league win. I might see Thornburg try to finish this one off today.
Tyler's got a good changeup. Fastball, not the velocity that he had a couple of years ago. He was in the upper 90s. More like 91, 92. Changeup, curveball for Tyler Thornburg.
And a line drive, right field, a base hit. Back-to-back singles. Talise and Solano. And now 2 on with nobody out. Ichiro will get an at-bat. Always got to follow him here, wherever he goes.
Yeah. Chasing down 3,000 hits in the big leagues.
Now, between Japan and the major leagues, he owns 4,205 career hits. What a career it's been.
Man, that's a lot.
Craig Counsell was reminiscing before the game about the years when Counsell was a young Rockies prospect. Ichiro was a prospect in the minor leagues in Japan, even though he didn't spend much time there. But they used to have a league in Hawaii. It was the Hawaii Winter League. And they would bring Japanese prospects who were, in Craig's words, closer to the big leagues than the U.S. prospects. But they all played in the wintertime. It lasted 2 years. And Counsell was there with Ichiro. That would have been 1993.
Not a bad place to spend your winter.
And Counsell was marveling that Ichiro is still playing and still chasing those numbers. Counsell certainly has moved on, now a manager after a couple of years out of the game. No player has more professional hits than Ichiro. If you count those Japan numbers. There's a call at strike 3, and Ichiro is rung up, and he does not like that call.
Marvin Hudson not afraid to ring up the future Hall of Famer. Yep, a little bit off the outside corner. Man, he's a sure bet to be in the Hall of Fame.
No doubt. No doubt. Great career in the States. So the first out, 2 on and 1 away, and here is Gillespie. After that great catch. Gillespie used to be in the Brewers minor league system. Bounced around in the big leagues. He was traded to the Diamondbacks. There's a line shot. Herrera's got it and can't find the handle. Had a quick shot and a double play, but he had to come up with it cleanly and make a throw in a hurry. So Lee scrambled back. It's the second out of the inning.
Fortunate Tyler Thornburg is that that ball right at Herrera hit right on the nose by Gillespie.
And 2 men are out now. Here's Christian Yelich.
I was doing a little math here, which is always dangerous.
That's no wonder you were quiet for a couple of innings.
Yeah. Innings. Ichiro right now 73 hits away from 3,000.
All right.
So that'll be next year.
Next
if he
year
has an opportunity to play. I'm sure he will.
You got to think somebody would give him a shot. They love him here in Miami. I mean, he's been great with the ball club, and he's brought a little cachet to the ballpark. You know, you have a lot of the Japanese media covering the Marlins every day. That'll be a grand moment when it happens. It'll happen. He keeps himself in great shape. No discussion of shutting his career down at this point. Ichiro at 41.
2004. I mean, looking at the media guide, hit 372, had 262 hits. Man.
He came over prior to the 2001 season, so for the first decade he was in the big leagues. From 2001 to 2010 he was an all-star every year. His first year he won the MVP and the Rookie of the Year. Was a Gold Glover each of those first 10 seasons in the big leagues. And 7 times he led the American League in hits. So yeah,
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Famer. A decade of dominance will get you there.
Get the plaque ready.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and a swing and a miss, and Thornburg surrenders 2 hits to start the inning, but puts up a 0. Strands a pair. We go to the 9th. 9-1 Brewers. day now. Now the Brew Crew putting a hurting on the Marlins today. Marlins flying high after their walk-off win yesterday against the Mets. The Brewers leading 9-1 as we go to the 9th inning. Looks like Thornburg's going to get an at-bat, so Counsell will try to get a couple of innings out of Tyler Thornburg. We're keeping an eye on a lot of big games in the big leagues, a lot of pennant race games going on. The Mets now lead the Nationals 8-5. They're trying to get back to 5 games ahead of Washington. That is a 4-game series there. The Yankees have come back and taken a lead over the Orioles. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays are trailing 9-2 to the Red Sox. The Yankees could get within a half a game of Toronto. And in the National League Central Division, it's the Cubs leading the Cardinals 9-0 now in the 5th. Pirates lost to the Reds 3-1.
And Dan Herron shutting out the Cardinals.
So Thornburg will hit. And the Marlins go to their left-hander to work this 9th inning.
Yeah, called him up on September 2nd. It bounced around in the minor leagues this year. 4-3 record, 1 save, a 196 earned run average in the minor leagues. That was in 26 games. Last pitched on the 5th. We just saw that that graphic against the Mets, a scoreless inning.
Rodel Lazo. Glad to be in the big leagues. He's had some elbow problems throughout his career. Actually went on the DL this year in the minor league system with elbow problems. Overcome, you get healthy and make it to the big leagues. That's a good year. They're satisfying. Thornburg can swing the bat a little bit. He's still a pitcher, but he does hit a little. He was a position player in college, a center fielder. And runs well. And a called strike 3. Thornburg is out. 1 away here in the 9th inning. A reminder that Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Boys and Girls Clubs of America. Boys and Girls Clubs help young people reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens through programs that promote character and leadership, education, healthy lifestyles, and more. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com. First at bat of the day for Scooter Gennett. After Gene Segura goes 2 for 5 today with 2 runs, a stolen base, had a triple.
And Scooter gets to face a left-hander. Hasn't had too many chances to do that this year.
Which works perfectly for Craig Counsell. Counsell did say before the game today that he does not envision playing time changing for Scooter Gennett the rest of the year. Remember, in spring training, the talk was that Lind and Gennett would be everyday players. They would be in the lineup against right-handers and left-handers. That's remained the case for Lind, but not so much for Gennett. I think Gennett at this point is going to be a platoon player, but as a left-handed batter, that's the better way to be a platoon player. You're going to get a lot more at-bats because there are more right-handed pitchers than lefties.
And I think you're always going to be able to have better numbers that way. Scooter right now right around 270. This is only his 30th at-bat against a left-handed pitcher this year.
And he pops this one up. Foul territory. That'll be out number 2.
So 3 for 30 for Scooter, a batting average of 100.
Here's Logan Schaefer. Or rather, Maldonado, I beg your pardon. Maldonado will hit. Schaefer's moved on deck. Maldonado getting some playing time, which Jonathan Lucroy does not relinquish easily. Lucroy finishes with 3 hits and a walk today. 2 runs scored. He drove in a run. 2 doubles. Good day for Lucroy.
And Luke is hitting 14 of 15. And a lot of multi-hit games in that stretch.
Maldonado in a 3-2 count. Brewers and Marlins continue tomorrow. Night game tomorrow night. Next 2 nights will be in prime time, as a matter of fact. Got Taylor Youngman and Adam Connolly tomorrow. We're on the air at 5:30 in the Central Time Zone for Brewers Live. First pitch just after the 6 o'clock hour.
Yeah, Youngman was good last time out against the Pirates. 1 run in 6 innings.
Ariel Pena will get the ball Wednesday. There's a swing and a miss. Maldonado down on strikes. We are headed for the bottom of the 9th. Brewers lead it 9-1, trying to finish off a great Labor Day. Oh, the bats are heavy today for the Brewers. They are swinging it well. 9-1 our score. 15 hits for Milwaukee.
Still have a Carlos Gomez bat in the bat rack. I noticed that Zach Davies was using the 27 bat.
And Herrera uses the Gomez bat.
Okay.
Elian. As soon as the trade was announced, Herrera went in there and grabbed a bunch of Carlos Gomez's bats.
Before he can grab them?
Figuring he'd be distracted. He said they're perfect. And he gets a lot better wood than I do. That
true.
Shouldn't be the case,
well,
but it's true.
Well, it's true.
The stars get the best wood.
Companies wouldn't admit to that.
Rojas leads off. Thornburg trying to work the final 2 innings. This will be a nice day for the Brewers all the way around if Thornburg can finish this one off.
15 hits, 9 runs.
He used only 2 pitchers.
Right.
Davies goes 7, 1 run. He's in line for his first major league win.
When you consider in that doubleheader, the Brewers use every one of their relievers. They actually use Jimenez twice. Yeah, with no day off coming up until next Monday, it'd be nice to see Thornburg get through this inning.
Don't forget, Brewers Live coming up after the game. Jeff Grayson, Davey Nelson, and Telly will be down in the clubhouse. The Brewers are expected to announce 2 more call-ups after the game today. Rojas deep into center field, but this is Marlins Park, and those fly balls go to die.
Man, hang with them. And big boys hit him out there. And even the big boys can't hit him out there today.
So 1 away. Only that guy
can
hit him out there. And he's not.
You know, we haven't seen too many ball games here, but you know, when we've seen him, he's hit some of the most impressive home runs.
Yep. He hit one up on the walk in left field a couple of years ago. Got a little standing room only area, which is really cool, especially when they have big crowds in here. But yeah, you could pack a lot of people in that standing room area, a little bit of concourse that you could see the field. And Stanton sent a few baseballs up there.
Banging them off that glass out there in left field.
Well, they have 2 of the great young stars in the game, in Stanton and Jose Fernandez.
And that's the thing, you want to see these guys when you know, come into town. I mean, it's a lot easier to get through games without having to deal with Stanton and watch Fernandez out there on the mound. But you want to see the stars. You want to see, you know, Stanton get his at bats, see what he could do. Those are the things that are so great about this game. You know, even when you're rooting for the Brewers, you want to see these guys play.
There's Fernandez, who threw a simulated game today. He looked good. He was throwing hard. That was impressive watching him pitch up close. Bohr turns it around, but right there is Perez. Shift is on, and Bohr robbed of a base hit. Line shot, and the Brewers shortstop was right there to make a play.
And just, I think Tyler Thornburg thought that was a base hit. You see the reaction when the ball got by him? Man on first. Nope. There's Perez. He's got it. Knew it all the time.
So the Marlins down to their last out. Marcell Ozuna. You wonder what's going through the mind of Zach Davies right now. Hopefully we'll be able to hear from him post game. Nothing like your first. After his first start in the big leagues against the Pirates last week, he gets his first big league win here today.
I would imagine there's going to be some type of pie or water dumped on him at some point.
There's some kind of ceremony in there.
Yeah. 3-man lift.
One of the classics, the 3-man lift. Get the rookie in the middle.
Yeah, you get him. You know, you lock the arms. You're laying down on the ground, and you know the rookie in the middle thinks something else is. You know, somebody's going to pick up all 3 guys, and they dump all kinds of stuff on them: sunflower seeds, water, Gatorade, all that kind of stuff. You know, it's one thing to have that done to you once, but I've known players that have had that happen to them twice.
Right. That's true.
You kind of wonder about guys like that, right?
Pop-up foul. That'll be in the seats. Yeah, they once had I don't remember who, I think it was the Reds, had a 3-man lift. And the 2 rookies who had been involved in the first 3-man lifts,
yeah,
they decided they want to get the latest rookie in the 3-man lift. So they were on the outside, and then the newest rookie was on the inside. And then the veterans decided to douse those other 2 guys again.
Yeah, get them all 3 of them
for the 3rd time. And the guy in the middle didn't get anything. He was fine.
How did he get caught on that twice? I know who it was. I'd rather not say. He's not with the team right now.
There it is. Fly ball in the infield, and Jeanette will make the catch, and a success today for the Brew Crew.